On to our next topic here is Baltimore riots and the real issue. I don't have anything written down on this. I'm going to show a video here real quick. And it's going to show you how the media really covered the situation. But if you don't know what happened, and this is off the cuff here, I don't have anything written down here, was what happened was there was a guy named Freddie Gray in Baltimore. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, and he was basically just not doing anything, walking down the street. Again, I'm just assuming here. This is what I'm gathering from the information that I got. That, and cops seen him. And by the way, there's an argument out there saying, well, there's 3 black cops, 3 white cops now that are charged. No, okay, it was the 3 white cops that initially arrested him, okay? And what happened was basically they got him, put him in the truck, and they...
Well, he committed the crime of making eye contact.
Correct.
And then taking off the other direction.
But I need to emphasize here that what he had in his pocket, what they found in his waistband, was a knife, and everybody say switchblade, it's illegal in Baltimore. No, the findings were that it was not illegal. His knife was not illegal. It was within law. And what happened was, eventually, after the second stop, is they had him handcuffed initially, and then they shackled his legs and they put him in on his belly. And they put him in a truck, which failed to do, which failed police protocol. They're not supposed to do that. And what happened was, 40 minutes later, they get to the police station, and what happened was that basically severed his spine, and they called, I guess, the police then, or the paramedics, I should say, or ambulance then, and he went to the hospital, and he died a week later, I believe, after surgery. So that being said, guys, I mean, like, I just hate what's going on with the situation, and I'm happy that hopefully justice will prevail here. It seems like it will.
It has.
It has, but
yeah,
still they got to go through. They got to go through the justice system still, the cops and all that, and they got to find out the details. Which we don't have all the details. We need to be skeptical about this, okay? But
it might still have to go through one of those hidden, grand jury things that it doesn't. It's such a little bullshit.
Correct,
man.
but
but we can agree that if you're handcuffed in the back of a van, I mean,
on your stomach,
a patrol
legs.
car is different. A patrol car, being handcuffed in the back of a patrol car and not being seatbelted in, but in the back of a fucking van, where they're probably twisting and turning and doing all types of stupid shit, you're not properly secured.
Well, what they're saying,
shackle you by your leg.
Shackle,
yeah, that's great. That's not going to cause injuries.
Correct. Exactly, Paul, and you're right on that. Basically, what happened is one photo showed him shackled and all that, and they put him in the van. It's the only video they basically have, I think, at this moment. But what it boils down to is this guy died. Okay, apparently he died, and it seems like the evidence is out there that he died in the van, and the autopsy report came out as a homicide. So it was a homicide, and a day later, the mayor came out and said basically it was a homicide, and there was 6 cops involved, and they were charged. Multiple charges. I don't want to go over all the charges because I feel we really should talk about the real issue, I think.
Well, let's just say that it's not first-degree murder or anything like that.
No, it's not going to be anything like that. Manslaughter at the most, I think. But
really, it would be a negligent homicide because they should have.
A negligent homicide is the highest charge they can get.
Is that what I read?
Possible I think is what they should get personally, because if you put someone in the back of that, you're responsible for what happens to the person. If you fail to, I mean, you're responsible for, once you arrest a person, once you secure the person, you're responsible for their safety. So if
it's police protocol, yes.
They did all this shit that ultimately caused his death, I think there's negligent homicide because they're ultimately responsible for getting him from that scene to processing in one fucking piece.
Correct. And we're just going over the situation now. We're not getting into what we think what the real issue is, okay? So we're just going about what's been going on, okay? You guys can research all you want, but I want to play a video here, okay? I want to play a video that has over 7 million views right now in the last, I think, 5 days now, okay? So I want to play this video. I think it's very important, this video, to really watch and listen to, because it's Geraldo Rivera, Fox News, of course, and he's laughing at this fucking guy trying to talk to him, and I think it's a very important video for us to watch and also talk about the real issue, okay? So let's get to this video. Here we go.
These little fuckers still around?
Mm-hmm.
Intellectually, having no, don't walk away once we start talking. That's the problem. Because you want to report that we're thugs and we're breaking shit. You got these 2 big black dudes protecting you from all these black folks. We're the ones that need protection. Report for us. You're working for Fox News. Adam Jackson just went on Sean Hannity. Why are you running away? I'm not
running. He's running. He got Geraldo on the run, y'all. Look at this. He got Geraldo on the run.
He got Geraldo on the run.
Don't go to him. Hey, Geraldo, we don't need
conversation. Yeah, because you're not replying. Because we are angry. But listen, a black man can raise his voice. A black man can raise his voice, and you don't have to be intimidated. Because I want you and Fox News to get out of Baltimore City. Because you're not here reporting about the boarded up homes and the homeless people under MLK. You're not reporting about the poverty levels up and down North Avenue. 2 years ago, when the 300-man march, we marched from the top of Hilton to from Hilton and North to Milton and North, you weren't here. But you're here for the black riots that happened, right? You're not here for the death of Freddie Gray. You're here for your story. No, I want to talk to you without the cameras. Hey, this is not for YouTube. This is serious. I want the cameras off. I want the cameras off. I want the white media out of Baltimore City until y'all are here to report the real story. Seriously. You're not reporting Fox News is damn sure not here. Fox News don't give a damn about black people. He can't tell me move off of my street. I'll pay the tax out of this. All right. I'm not moving.
And you getting gas too. They gas everybody.
Look for us. I'm black and this is Black Baltimore. Go to the Baltimore where the National Guard is protected, the billions of dollars that is down there. That's what they developed. That's what Baltimore looks like. This is real Baltimore. No. This is where people have to wake up and wonder where they're going to go to get a meal. Right? This is where kids go.
Right. People living in detrimental situations and shit.
After the peaceful protest with the dirt bikes, the only thing that ever brought East Baltimore and West Baltimore together, they sat and took the dirt bikes. Because you don't have anything. What are you going to say? What can you say that's going to benefit you? What can you say?
Right, he's smiling, right?
Yeah.
He's smiling,
He's
right?
We're not crazy.
What I want to say before anybody goes here is the guy hits a nail on the head probably the whole fucking time. Is like, when Fox News wants to come the fuck in, it was all about the fucking riots. They could give two shits about Freddie Gray. To a certain point.
I kind of disagreed with
to a certain point.
The white media out of it, whatever.
I do. Yeah. That's why I said for the most part I agree with this guy. But yeah, okay, I understand the white media. What he basically means, I think, is like CNN and Fox News and major media outlets where they only care about the fucking riots. I think that's what he meant by that. I'm not gonna.
That's what he came to cover. He didn't come to cover the fucking real story. They came to and they immediately drop like the headline as soon as it. It's like Fox News has a hard-on for just appealing to complete assholes and bigots and dumbasses. Because as soon as there's any kind of like, oh, the charges are brought against the officers, all right, we're going to drop that story and cover some ISIS shit, right?
Yeah.
They're just like, they love to move on and not deal with the actual facts of cases. They love to just run their mouths about it, like, oh, I think he was high and he slipped and he fell, and that's how he severed his fucking spine, right? But then
that was the one guy on Fox News said that. Yeah,
that's like multiple people on Fox News said that shit. And then when the facts fucking come out and all these charges are brought, then
they would never apologize.
Mum's the fucking word. We'll find other things to cover because we don't need to bother our viewers with facts. We've already set them in a single mindset, and now we're just going to leave it be.
Correct.
If they come across other information, they'll probably doubt it because what they heard on Fox News matters more. It's a load of bullshit.
Correct, and you hit the fucking nail on the head.
One of the big problems with the outlets too is with all the major news outlets and all the other ones that are being going away, or they're being, I don't know, other alternative ways of getting news, alternative, new media is taken away from them. I think a lot of it is they try to make sure that they have whatever story is going to bring in the most ratings, most views, most whatever. So unfortunately for a lot of them, when they're talking about the actual peaceful protest, when any type of action happens, they're going to cut right away to it, of course, because they want people to come watch and say, "Hey, look what's happening! This exciting action." Instead of it's not exciting enough. It's not newsworthy enough for people, so they have to cut to something that is newsworthy in their eyes right away. You know, that type of shit. I think that's a big problem with them is they're trying to pump up ratings, views, and all that shit, and they do a bad job of it. They do shitty reporting. They do shitty commentary while they're doing it too, like trying to go after, trying to you know, all the videos of everything that happened, the people commenting, that they're just like they don't think what they're saying really. They're not actually really thinking about what they're doing.
What I want to say before Drew gets in here is I've been having a lot of discussions on my personal Facebook over this whole entire fucking issue. And what I want to say is, and I need to be clear about this because I try to be clear on my personal Facebook, is that peaceful protest, I'm all fucking for, man. But people are like, oh, so you approve of the riots? No, I don't approve of the riots. I think it's wrong. I think it's counterproductive when it comes to that aspect. It's counterproductive. So what I think is when people protest, you got people that don't care about the situation, that will take advantage of a situation and riot and loot and do all that. Okay, so you can't combine the rioters in with the peaceful protest. You just can't fucking do it. It's fucking wrong. It's counterproductive. So
you should at least be honest that it's a vast majority that are peaceful and a small minority that are looting and rioting and doing crazy shit.
I believe that.
I think a lot of people.
But what I want to expand on here is I had a pic. My friend posted this pic, and I said, you know what? It's racially motivated. I'm like, we've been seeing this a lot this year and last year, you know, and we could just only pick the last 2 years. It's been going on probably for a long time. And of course, social media outlet now and cameras and cell phones and smartphones, it contributes to a lot of the injustice, you know. And what it boils down to is, which I'm going to show you here real quick, is I had this one person, this girl that's on my personal Facebook, posted which is, of course, misinformation. I'm going to show you this image right now. She posted this image right here. Killed by police nationwide in 2014. African-American 233. Whites 414. Hispanics 138. Asian, and, of course, unreported race. This is such misinformation here, because what you want to do is, and I told her and she agreed with me in the long run, and so many of her friends that ended up backing me up, was when you look at the statistics here, okay, it looks like, okay, well, it isn't racism. Okay, well, this is what you get from Fox News and other sources, where they're missing the percentage of population on each demographic. That's what they're missing. The U.S. is made up of, let's say, 66% of white people, which is around 220 million.
I actually happen
right?
to know the stats on this.
You probably have the stats on this, but I'm going to put this out there, and of course, Drew, go after me. If I'm wrong, please correct me. 66%, I'm just going to throw a number out. 66%, it doesn't matter if it's a couple percent off. 220 million, and African Americans are about 12%, 38 million, and Hispanics 50 million at 16%. So when you do the math, you tell me what the percentage killed by police is. It's a whole fucking different story than this fucking image. Okay, so when you look at this image, it's like, but when you look at this image, which means there are more Hispanics than blacks in the U.S., the number of killings are almost double among blacks. Okay, so I think this is a more logical approach, or accurate approach, I should say, to the truth. So yes, there is a problem with cop on black crime, or even, I should say, the stop and frisk laws like New York City has, which I'm going to go over those statistics. But before I get there, Drew, go ahead, have at it.
I was going to say, because I've been having this conversation a lot, and at work, I was having it with a guy, and he was trying to tell me that blacks make up like 30-something% of the population or whatever. And like, no. And I actually pulled up the stats. I've had to do this to him before, but he didn't remember. And I pulled it up to him again, and it's somewhere around 77. It's around 75 to 77% of Americans are white, and it's like 13% are black. So, I mean, that's of course, a huge difference. But
72 point.
Yeah.
I was being conservative there, by the way,
compared to 12.61.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what I was going to say in relation to this video is it's a typical situation in America where, and that's what the problem that those people were having with Fox, is that they want to show up and they want to get, I just saw a bunch of guys raiding the liquor store and shit like that. And the protests apparently were going on even before Freddie Gray died, from my understanding, or at least around the time that he died. It was long before the shit hit the fan. But there was no media there. No media goes there and covers that. They want to wait till the city's on fucking fire, to do something. And then when all the people want to talk about that, it's like I say, it's typical America. It's the same thing that happens every time we have gun violence in America. Anytime there's a mass shooting, we don't do anything to prevent it happening in the future. We just expect different results. And it's the same thing that you see in the social and economic issues and it's stuff we don't even have to guess about. We know what leads to more violent crime and more unrest and lower societal happiness, lack of education, lack of opportunity, poverty, all these things. We know those, but we don't do shit to fix it.
Correct. 100% right, dude. Now that there, anybody else before I go on with any?
No, I was going to say, like, I totally disagree, and I can't wait until they put fried food back in Texas schools.
You're here.
Fucking God, Jesus Christ. But I want to go over some statistics here, and this is going to be my argument for that. There are a lot of white cops out there, not all of them. And just please hear me out here. That I'm not saying all cops are evil. I'm just saying there's many cops that are evil, and they're very racist, especially in certain areas when you go to the South, so on and so forth. And what recently happened, not recently, I should say, back in 2002, 2012, is New York came out with this stop and frisk law where they had the right to stop and frisk anybody they wanted. So there's a lot of myths out there. Myths would consider of, let me see here, number one would be stop and frisk reduces crime and keeps people safer. No, fact is, no research has ever proven the effectiveness of New York City's stop and frisk regime. I love that word that they use. And a small number of arrests, summonses, and gun recovered demonstrations that the practice is ineffective. And I want to jump to this next myth here is stop and frisk gets guns off the street and therefore prevents murders. Well, no, the fact is actually that guns are found in less than 0.2% of stops. That is an unbelievably poor yield rate for such an intrusive, wasteful, and humiliating police action. The last one I'm going to go over, which is really the statistic I really want to go over here, and it's actually true because I've researched this and it's actually true, is the fourth myth they have here is stop it, and I'll include this link in our video when it comes out. Myth 4 is stop and frisk is not discriminatory. Okay, fact is comparing police stops to violent crime suspects is bad math. Only 11% of stops in 2011 were based on description of violent crime suspects. Black and Latino residents made up close to 90% of people stopped, and about 88% of the stops, more than 3.8 million, were innocent New Yorkers. So then again, when you look at that, yeah, it's pretty fucking racist, dude. You're targeting the minorities in that area. It's pretty bad. So yeah, I do agree that yes, we do have a problem with racism when it comes to cops stop. We've seen this. Okay, so who else wants to go? dprjones, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I've been trying to. I can't really comment on the stories that you're referring to because I've not been keeping up to date with them. But what I was trying to do whilst you were discussing it was to see what the comparative figures were between deaths in police custody in the UK and in America. I don't have any American figures, but I've got a site. I don't know how trustworthy it is, but it would seem to suggest that during, for example, the year 2014, there were about 17 deaths in police custody.
Wow.
Now, I can't remember where I saw this figure and how what it relates to, but I heard that the number of people killed during arrests, I may be wrong, please correct me, during a similar period in 2014, around that time, was more than those that were killed at 9/11. Now, what am I referring to? Someone is going to help me out here, I'm sure.
Referring to what?
The number of people killed in America by police officers during the course of 1 year exceeds.
Well, I'm going to show you
the amount of people that died on 9/11.
I don't know. Domestic terrorism.
Well, dprjones, maybe
yeah,
this.
I mean, if you look at the stats, there are thousands of people that are killed each year by police officers.
Here's a statistic.
Whether it's
dprjones. Here's a statistic here. Here's an image I'm going to show right now. Is police in UK have killed 52 people in the last 115 years. Police in the United States have killed 369 people in the last 115 days. So.
Now, I don't want this to go down a gun control sort of route, but it does seem that there's a significant difference there. Now, what the reasons are for that, I don't know, and I'd be interested to know what people think. I think that guns, obviously, or the possession of guns, obviously plays a part, but I wouldn't say it's a
prime factor,
exclusive part. I wouldn't say, but there's something quite different going on, isn't there? Can you show that stat again, Joe?
But think about this too. You got to think about the population as well. UK has 64 million people. The US has 320 or something like that million people.
Yeah. So
if the stat doesn't adjust for the population, then it's really not worth shit.
You can say it's about 4 times different. Maybe 5.
Okay, well, there is an adjustment there. There is a small adjustment to be made with 115 years going down to 115 days. So
that's fucking
massive.